Alright, so we're in my backyard now. The clip before this, I know I was about to remove the valve cover. I did remove the valve cover. Literally, had you guys just gotten that last bolt, that was the stud in the back top left corner of that valve cover, it would have come off. It would have come off. Literally after that, I literally just removed the bolts and wiggled the valve cover out, and it came right out. Super easy. It does kind of need to be pulled a little bit because those tubes, the spark plug seal tubes, are in there pretty tight. The O-rings seal pretty good, so they need to be kind of popped up. But once they pop up, the thing will come out just fine. So some things have changed. We removed the valve cover, and there was just a lot of metal in the head. I am pretty sure this engine probably had some type of rod bearing issue, and the metal was then sent through the rest of the engine block and through the oiling system and stuff, and just chewed up the rest of the motor. Basically, we're gonna tear it down. This has now become a M3 engine swap video and also S85 or S65 rebuild video, because once this one comes out, we're gonna be rebuilding it. But also, over here, we have a good swap. So I got a good deal from some guy on a forum for another good running motor. This is out of a 2010 or 11 car, I believe. We'll find out actually once we dig into it, because the motors are stamped with dates. So we're gonna end up swapping this one in. I've got a bunch of parts and cool parts and stuff to go on it, which you guys are gonna see. And then once this one comes out, we're gonna dig into this one. So you guys are gonna get to see a full in-depth video of an S65 getting torn down, looking at what happened, and then basically a whole rebuild process and putting it back together. Possibly stroker, possibly cams, who knows what. Whatever sponsors we can get on board for this video, whatever else we'll figure out. But it's gonna be a multi-video series, so stay tuned. Please hit that subscribe button if you guys like what you're seeing. So to update you guys where we are now, I've really not much has actually changed. I didn't even tighten the valve cover up. I just put the coil packs back in it and plugged the injectors back in and stuff to run the car in here. I didn't even put the intake manifold on. I just ran it with open throttle bodies. Now that it's in here, I have removed the radiator, which is super easy. It's not back here, but there's two bolts, one on each top corner, that actually holds the fan in, and then this big plug that holds the fan in, or plugs into the fan, comes out. And then once the fan gets removed, it exposes two more bolts in the exact same location on either side to pull the radiator out. And then the radiator comes out. Obviously, disconnect the lines. I know it looks a little jumbled up right now with what I've done, but this is just the wiring harness. I've just basically gone and removed the whole wiring harness. Just be careful. It's actually really easy. I have the computer side open there so I can disconnect it from the computer, because if you're gonna leave the transmission in the car, the easiest thing to do is just remove the wiring harness so you can get to the bolts on the back of the transmission. Next is, once we got the radiator out, next was basically just working on this wiring harness. So obviously pulling all your coil pack wires, pulling your injector wires. There's two grounds on each side of the head, one onto one of the bolts and then one actually onto the valve cover, onto one of the little grommet guys that the coil pack covers clip onto. So once you do that, you start working around the motor, and you get these, solenoid clips and oil pressure sensor clip down here. This is some type of position sensor down there, your AC, alternator, all your motors, your throttle body actuators, and your other little sensors and stuff down here. You just basically start disconnecting everything that you find. There is one back here on the right that you got to be careful, that goes to this guy right here. Your pump, remove your pump. To get the harness out, this plug is actually really hard to get to. That goes to the blower motor. It's easiest to just remove the smog pump, the blower motor, and then you can disconnect that plug. And there's also, being a DCT car, there is a wire that runs down to the transmission that I've got to disconnect from underneath the car. This motor was a manual motor. The guy told me it was DCT, but I don't think he really knew, because there is no wire like mine. Maybe there is. No. Oh, maybe this is it actually. I don't know. Yeah, actually. You know what? Maybe the same. I haven't torn mine out yet. Anyways, maybe it was right. Basically, there's another wire that this guy goes down the transmission that I got to disconnect from down below. The reason that harness is still in that motor is because he pulled the motor and transmission together. I would have left the harness if I could, but there's no physical way to get to the transmission bolts on the top of the bell housing. So here we are, just Two 10 millimeters here, two 10 millimeters in the back to hold the main harness down. Just make sure you get all your plugs undone. Once you come over here to the computer side, there's these two big main plugs. These three, the green, white, and red, are all kind of clipped down here in the back, like these blue and black ones are. You gotta disconnect them, which are kind of hard. There's even some zip ties down there that hold the wires down that you have to disconnect. There's this green fuse that you need to disconnect next to the orange one, and the big main plug. So this is all the plugs on the engine side. It's the green fuse, the bigger plug of the two plugs that go to the ECU. You do want to disconnect this one because they are kind of intertwined underneath each other like spaghetti. And then these three guys in the back, the green, white, and red. So once you do that, all the engine stuff is undone. And also this ground right here that does go to the firewall. You want to get that guy. And it's basically done. And then, you know, the next scene, I'll show you guys what's next. Other than that, I'm pretty sure I showed everything else. Gonna try and leave the AC in the car. I don't want to disconnect it, because if I do, I'm gonna have to borrow my buddy's vacuum setup and whatnot. And I don't know, if we have to, we'll do it, but I'm gonna try to lift the motor up and disconnect the AC pump, because there's only a couple bolts. Leave it sitting in the engine bay. When I'm putting the other motor in, bolt it on and kind of drop it in with it, because there is quite a bit of slack on these vibration lines. And I don't know, we'll see. Maybe it won't work, maybe it will. So yeah, keep you guys posted, show you guys what's next. Gonna jack the car up here, get under it so I can get at that harness, and just keep moving. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like what you see, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, comment, and this video is probably going to become pretty long, and there's going to be a lot of, this might even be a multi-part episode video. So thank you guys very much for watching, and stay tuned. I'm ready to drive this car. Very happy about it. There's the VIN number for you guys wondering.